Anybody else noticing how the mention of war is causing gender ideology and feminism to just like basically evaporate? I saw a guy talking about how he's paying close attention to this war because he's wondering if people are going to start getting drafted and men have to be worried about that, and women in the comments, like feminists are like, God forbid men have to do their duty. Now it's not toxic masculinity. When it comes to dying on a battlefield, we're all good with that. But any other time, it's this toxic masculinity. Like, now it's God has a design. We are all created differently. Women can't do what men can do. Yeah, I guess when it's going to cost you your life, your ideologies change real quick.
All that talking cease. All that nonsense shut up. Immediately. Oh, well, I think that. Oop. It looks like I'm about to get out of here. Somebody about to take me out. I need to be quiet.
For real, how do 4 equal 8 but 5 equal 10 though? I've been asking this shit since I was a little girl, and it get me mad every time I ask this. Like, how do it equivalate? Who is paying you?
Her and her man broke up and she went to therapy. The therapist told her she was the problem, so this is her reaction. And it can go either one or two ways. Like, she really wondered if somebody paid this lady because she can't believe she a problem. Or she's saying, because I paid you, lady, you supposed to say he the problem. But that ain't how it work. It's just funny how y'all always tell the black men or the man to go to therapy, and y'all don't even take this serious. Because they gonna say the same thing we can say to ourselves. Everything that therapist tell y'all, I be saying it, and y'all think I hate y'all. Because y'all don't like when y'all being told that y'all the problem. You smiling because you know it's true. So imagine if you just gotta let things be the way they are. That's okay, but y'all gonna keep complaining about it. Y'all can't even accept the way y'all want things to be. You broke up with your man, not what you're gonna do. You gotta find another one who gonna basically put up with who you are and who you don't want to become. Simple. Subscribe to my YouTube Planet Reality.
And this is exactly what I be saying. Y'all not in therapy. Y'all not healed. Y'all be going to therapists that confirm what y'all and assure you that what you're doing is right. Yeah, they might say you need to stop drinking so much coffee. Little soft pillow, just that type of stuff here and there. But no, they're not hitting y'all with hard stuff. Number one. Number two, if they did, and when they do, because at some point even therapists get tired of your nonsense. He'd be like, oh, okay, well, I just stopped going to her, girl. They wasn't serving me anymore.
Women do not say sorry. Women do not apologize. Instead, women gaslight men into apologizing for things that they're not even at fault for. And then these same women will sit there and wonder why their relationships don't work out. They won't sit there and wonder why their relationships don't work out, because that would take some self-accountability and reflection, because that would take some real work, right? That would take some real accountability. So instead, they take the easy way out. They blame men.
Unpopular opinion. I've kind of seen a few videos and this trend of guys talking about that the reason why they're choosing to they don't slide in girls' DMs because they're like, oh, this girl is beautiful, she's successful, like she's popular, maybe she has a big following, whatever. That like, why would I do that? Like her DMs are already flooded. And I get why you would think that, correct? I would think the same thing if I come across a good looking guy. And as for me, I get it. I know I'm not Beyonce, but I'm also not like the crypt keeper. My DMs are pretty dry. Pretty dang dry. Yeah. And my unpopular opinion is I think it's the opposite. I think men's DMs are the ones that are flooded. I mean, prime example is I will come across a very good looking dude on this app, and just in the comments, they're making like this, just in the comments, the women are just going at him hard. And the video I saw of the guy talking about that was basically just, being like, I think this is why. And I commented on that video and I said, here's the thing. I think like the women's DMs are actually more dry than usual because of this reason. But the way I look at it is, why wouldn't you try? Like, take the risk, put the effort in. What's the worst that they can do? They don't respond. You don't know this person. Like, who cares? Like, if I see a good looking dude on here and I'm feeling ballsy, I'm gonna take that risk. If he doesn't see it or doesn't respond, okay, never see him again. I don't know. That's just my theory. I think it's actually like roles where women are the ones that are flooding men's DMs versus men flooding women's. I don't know. I can only speak for myself. It's because my DMs are dry. Maybe that's a me issue, but I'm just saying.
For some of these men, the best thing that could happen is they don't respond. It's better to being posted and your messages show.
To all the people who saw the video that I made last night about getting like touched when I'm in public because people want to come up and say hi, and they're commenting and they're saying stuff like, "Ooh, what were you wearing? What were you wearing?" I get it. I get it. I get it. I get that's what men say. I get it. And I'm sorry. And men are stupid, and I get it.
This one might get me into a lot of hot water, but I need to say it. In today's day and age, I actually think that it can be outright dangerous for a man's mental health to have a large female following, especially when you're trying to talk about experiences that might be negative about women. Because this is exactly what this man has, okay? He gives relationship advice and they're little short clips of his little opinions or experiences, and he has a very large female following. Well, the second he comes on and he makes a video about a personal experience about being touched by a woman that he didn't want to be touched by, he even still validated a woman's experience, and he was saying that he understands that women go through this. He's still got this negativity in the comments. And this is where it's going to be controversial, but I am going to say it because I can say it, I think, a little bit safer than men, but women are more mean. They are more mean than men. If they have been hurt, if this has happened to them, they are going to give it right back to a man. And by that, I mean any man. That includes him making this video. They're going to show up in the comments. That's my opinion. Stay safe out there, guys.
I just don't understand why people can't communicate and how easily people disregard other people's feelings. I am a big believer that in relationships, whether platonic, romantic, whatever, we have a responsibility to be considerate of each other. Obviously, like, there's boundaries and like context and nuance to all of this. I just think some people are so selfish. They don't resonate with the narrative of like, oh, well, they don't owe me anything or you don't owe them anything. I think everyone is owed just like basic common decency and like respect. You have the responsibility when you are dating someone or in a relationship with someone to meet their needs. And I think also a need is to like communicate where you stand. I think people are allowed to change their mind. People are allowed to do what feels right to them and make their choices. And I encourage that. But like, let's be kind to each other. Let's communicate. Let's not leave the other person hanging. If you're scared of confrontation, you gotta grow up. If communication is really hard for you, go to therapy. Figure it out. Read a book. Talk to ChatGPT even. Figure it out. Some things are gonna be out of your comfort zone, sure. Don't be selfish. Have healthy boundaries, sure. Absolutely. Don't be an asshole.
I feel like there are very few times when you should be ghosting somebody. Me personally, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't be out there with just anybody anyway, because that'd be wasting my time, and I hate wasting my time. If you know me, I really hate wasting my time. I abhor it. So if I see something that looks like it's gonna waste my time, I'm gonna ask questions about it, and I'm gonna keep on asking questions about it, and keep on asking questions about it until I get down to what I actually want to hear. It used to be I would kind of go along with it, and sometimes you got to be a little bit flexible. But if you making it a habit to waste my time, then we have problems. So I would say before I even once again step out the house, I'm having a conversation on that phone. There was a woman that talked about, oh, I don't like being all up on the phone. Then you ain't the one for me, because we're about to get on this phone and we're about to have a conversation about why we're good for each other. And then if I feel like that's the case, then I'll take you out on a date and gladly pay. But if not, I'm going to tell you right there on that phone, hey, I don't think we're good together, and this is the reason why. You seem like a nice person, though. Have a good day. No ghosting needed.
At what point in the black community do our men create real homes? I'm looking at a successful black man that has the ability to literally turn the narrative on black family. My whole family, they're married. I'm not the girl who didn't see what a man creating a black family is supposed to be. So I'm asking right now, black men, I got to my black men to really step up for black women and create families.
Yeah.
It's really not cool. Black men are attacking black women. And it's not a cool, they're not creating homes. They're creating babies everywhere. It's not cool. And I'm asking you, other successful black men, to be, you have to set an example as leads. The cute social media back and forth on black women. We are consistently creating the cycle of kids who can't come home and see their daddy there. And they see their mama sad at night. At what point is the successful black man in this world going to step in and really create structure? I see white men doing it every day.
54% of black men ages 15 to 49 don't have children. Only 39% of black women aged 15 to 49 don't have children. So in fact, those stats tell you that most black men aren't out here creating broken homes. I'm gonna leave that piece right there. I think that when people pay too much attention to social media, you're not seeing the highlights of the brothers that are there doing what they have to do for their children. Because it's not highlighted, it gets overshadowed and overlooked. We have to be careful with these false narratives. And I get people personal and anecdotal experiences make them feel a way. But a lot of brothers that's speaking now get attacked for certain things that's not happening. If you really pay attention to the content and you care enough about it.
So a dude in the comments said victim mentality at its finest. We're going to sit here and act like these women are not running through everybody and their mama and treat men who are looking for wives like lames. And I'm looking at some statistics over here. And basically it says, as one of the takeaways, women across all races are more likely to be parents than men. Okay? Single parent households are most prevalent among black families, unfortunately, at 63%. We really got to fix that, I think. Single mothers far outnumber single fathers. I think it says right here 80 to 20. About 80% versus 20%. And within black families, again, unfortunately, about 89% versus 11%. So there's a lot of single mothers out here. So like the caption says, there's got to be some accountability for the women. And it looks like a lot of accountability for a lot of the ladies out here.
I am single. I am not married.
What do you mean by that, Sarah?
When I check a box, whether it is single, married, widowed, or divorced, you know what I check? Single.
Tony
Committed
Baker said,
relationship is not out there.
Tony Baker said, if you have a boyfriend, you are not single.
No, that's not true. When I have a husband, I am not single because the box changes that you check on the thing.
That's just, what is the deal?
Semantics?
Yeah, that's just semantics.
No, it's reality.
No.
When I check the box, I am checking single because I am not married.
Reducing status to what you put on a box on a piece of paper.
I'm not checking married until I'm a wife.
Now you're just talking about legality.
That's different though. No, I'm not talking about legality. I'm talking about reality. And this is where people get delusional. Guys, this is why most relationships go bad. You want to know why? Because we start doing the we and the our thing. This is our house. We just bought our dog. No, you are not a one yet. I am not a one yet. I am still a single until I am a whole one with another person. That's it. I wish that we could sit here and pretend like that being a girlfriend actually meant something. It doesn't. It means that you could be in a committed relationship. You could be in an exclusive relationship. You could be in an amazing, loving relationship. But there is no one until you are under the eyes of God and say, I do.
I agree. However, I believe that there should be some acknowledgement in the status that a person has in your life if they're in your life intimately. I feel like
I'm not saying it shouldn't be acknowledged. I never said that. I'm just saying I'm single because I'm not married.
That's just semantics, Sarah. Somebody said, come on, Sarah, if he cheated, you will say y'all wasn't single.
The term single.
Go look it up. Just
human.
Just the Google. Do the Google.
You ready? Single definition. Only one, not one of several. I am single. Only one. I am one person. Now, under the eyes of God, two become one. I am no longer single. I am married. I refuse to put myself in the delusional box of committed relationship. Do you know how many committed relationships I've been in? My whole life I've been in committed relationships.
I feel like
I am never, ever, quote unquote, single in the eyes that you see it. I'm always in something long and I'm always in something serious. So I'm not saying that that's not the case. Being in something in an exclusive, committed relationship is different from being single.
I get what you're saying. But single implies that you don't have to check in with anybody.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
No, because single you can be
selfish.
No, it's not. Yes, you can be single and be in a committed, exclusive relationship. As an example, if I, right now, committed, exclusive relationship, let's say my man buys a house. That is his house.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I'm not moving in until we are married.
For sure. 1,000%.
There's
We're
no
not
way.
moving in together. We're not buying cars together. We're not getting
we're not
dogs
doing
together. We're not
anything
doing
that is lifelong together because we're not one yet. We're not starting a business together. For me, that is my opinion. I'm not doing that because I feel like that's when the delusion starts to creep in, because we start thinking, oh yeah, this makes sense. Let's absolutely get to a space where this is all of our stuff, and then boom, you break up, and then what? What was it for?
You got to split it.
You got it
evenly.
Period.
50-50.
I ain't got to split nothing because I'm a single in a committed, exclusive relationship.
Tony says some marriages ain't even one.
That's a fact, and I don't want them. I want to be a wife and I want to marry a husband, a single husband. It's the same thing that I talk about how you are a wife before you're married. Same way you're a husband before you're married. But people could say that's semantics. Okay.
No, it's not.
It's just the truth. And it's the same way for being single, but you could be in a committed, exclusive relationship. It's the same exact thing. Okay. I hear y'all want to argue. I ain't arguing with y'all.
Okay.
Someone said, if you were divorced, would you still say the same thing? No, if I was divorced, I would say I'm divorced because the boxes are single, married, divorced, or widowed.
Sounds like she's talking about in regards to, I guess, an application or something like that. And then you would check, in the eyes of the law, I am single. But in reality, it's kind of like you're going through, and I hesitate to say this, a trial. We're trying to see if we like each other. We're exclusive. We're exclusively trialing each other. That doesn't mean that we're sleeping with each other, but we're trying to see if we're a good enough match for each other is basically what it is. In the eyes of the law, you are single, but in the eyes of your social circle, you are not single. You are in a relationship with somebody. You can, in some states, depending on, like she was talking about, how long you've been together, y'all moving together, then y'all got to split it because it's common law at that point in time. But if you're in your house, he's in his house, then we are operating as single entities legally. But you're legally speaking single until you're married. But socially speaking, you're not single. That doesn't work. That doesn't happen. Because once again, if you say that, then I can just run around and do whatever I want to do because I'm single until I'm married. I'm just trying you out. I'm trying her out. I'm trying her out. And vice versa. There's not going to be a lot of loyalty unless you have discipline to say, this is exclusive. This is the person that I want to be with. This is what I want. So therefore, I'm not looking at anybody else. I am no longer on the market as far as you're concerned. I'm not single to you. I'm not available for you. I'm available for him, but not for you. So no, I'm not single. I have a partner and we are seeing it. Now it might not work out. That is no longer my partner, socially speaking. Now I'm open to talk to you. But before, socially speaking, I am not single.
Guys just want to know that you like them back. I know we expect men to be the chasers, the pursuers. I won't say chasers because no one likes that word. To pursue. If they see a woman that they like, he's going to pursue her. So we think he's going to be the one that's calling, make the dates, make plans, and we just sit back and just accept it. But we're not supposed to initiate the phone call or show interest, because then we're going to look too needy or desperate. But I think what we need to do, if you like a guy, initiate the good morning, initiate the good night, just to let him know that you like him. And I think that's something, in this day and age, it's not a big deal. I had girlfriends say, oh, don't call him, don't text him, because if he don't call you or text, that means he's not interested. I said, but how does he know I'm interested? Well, he should know. Should he? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Why do you hate that I play video games?
It's just unattractive. You put on your little headset and you hop on with all of these random people. Okay, let's go, boys. Like, it's just like so cringe. Not only do you play video games, but after you're done playing, you're just watching people play video games. You're watching YouTubes about video games. It's like, bro, why does everything you have to do have to be surrounded by video games? Literally accomplishing nothing.
She continues to belittle what he actually likes doing and then wonders why he ain't gonna respect what she got going on. A dude in the comments says, the crazy part is some people actually think these things and then go and watch 3+ hours of TV per night and binge streaming services.
Can we just talk about how weird the dating scene is these days, ladies? Especially if you're trying to do it as a single mom. So to be fair, I have a lot of friends who are also on the dating apps, you know, in the dating pool, and they don't have kids. And it sounds equally traumatic for all of us, truly. And for starters, all the apps. There are so many, and they all pretty much do the same thing, right? Bumble, Hinge, Facebook dating, Match, you know, all of those ones out there. And there has got to be an easier way. Can we not consolidate these and call it, this is what's left, good luck, you poor souls, like, welcome to dating in your 30s and 40s, right? But no, all these different ones. And then you go on, and for me, at least, ladies, and probably the same for most of my friends and the women that I know that are on them, is we want to represent ourselves as accurately as possible. So I am being honest about who I am, my details, what I look like, you know, so that we can start all of this off on the right foot, right? So biggest thing, you start talking to these people, you get on the apps, you're trying to find somebody who likes you, that you can match with and start having a conversation with, maybe get to the point where you're going out on a date with them, right? That's the goal. But then you just are find so many of these men just have so much audacity, so much. So if they didn't put douchey things on their profile, you find that it's pretty quick into the conversation that they're saying them. Or they jump right to the physical or wanting to hook up, or, you know, the whole ghosting thing, or leaving you on red. And it just so confusing, right? So for me, I am a mom. I am a single mom. I work. I have a life. At any given point, I have like 1,000 things that I am responsible for or could be doing. I am very intentional with my time, right? I am very intentional with the conversations that I have with people and the people that I surround myself with. So, you know, to get to the point where we've had a good conversation, cool, we're going to go on a date, right? So for ladies, and again, most women that I know, this is a big deal to us. We are putting time and effort into getting ready for this. We are doing our hair. We are doing our makeup. We have shaved our legs. You know, this is a whole thing that we went through to go on this date with you. And then some of them are just disappointing. Like, it's appalling, really, what is out there. So just a couple of stories, ladies. One of the first ones that I went on through one of these apps, we get there, and the dude had just totally misrepresented himself. He looked nothing like he did in his pictures. He was significantly shorter than what he had said his height was. Different details that he had put in there about his life were different when we met in person. And it was like not even the person that I was expecting to meet. Felt a little catfished, right? So that is one thing that you have to be careful about on these apps. The other thing that I am discovering is a thing, is the amount of married men who are out there, who have the nerve to go on these dating apps and strike up these situationships with ladies, specifically moms, who are out there trying to do the right thing and use these properly. Another example is started a kind of relationship with a guy. It was going pretty well. Couple months in, we're, spending a lot of time together. It's getting more serious. And I find out that he has a wife of 14 years. 14 years! He had a whole other life and situation that he was leading. Again, shocking. So make sure, ladies, when you're talking to these dudes, when you are preparing to meet these people, if they say they're divorced, make sure they're actually divorced, because there are dudes that will have no shame and still be out there trying to hook up with you. And lastly, probably my most recent one that I went on through one of these dates, it just was strange. The whole vibe was off. He didn't really make eye contact, didn't really ask me about himself, but talked a lot about himself. Talked about job offers he was taking in different cities, which I found to be a little weird. Just took me somewhere where we could not really hear each other, didn't know half of what he was actually saying. It was just awkward. And as a mom, very intentional with my time. So, for us, maybe you got a babysitter, maybe you had to rearrange your schedule, or maybe you just, when it flops and it was not a good experience for you, or it was not what it was you were expecting it to be, you feel bad because you missed out on time that you could have been spending with your kids. So just so many different scenarios. But yes, ladies, the dating scene, absolutely crazy. Crazy. It's crazy what's out there. It's crazy that people are dishonest out there. It's just not very many people are going to be on the same page as you, and you really have to sift through. So, ladies, I want to hear your dating stories. If you're a mom and you're out there trying to do the dating thing, if you have any advice for people who are out there trying to navigate the dating world, drop a comment below, reach out to me. I want to hear how it is for you guys.
Josh ADR8 in the comments said, in my humble opinion, Huda from Love Island was an absolute 10. Beautiful, smart, dedicated, and even she got dogged for a lesser woman. Why? It'll never be said out loud, but she's a single mom. Interesting. Smart Cookie, which is a woman, says, try dating men who are shorter than you. They tend to be nicer and they tend to be overlooked.
Black women, let me just give you a few tips, if I may. Listen, when it comes to dating, we got to do better. Now, I'm not in the dating market, I'm married, but for the women who are out here who say they want good men, y'all want good relationships, a lot of y'all say y'all want to get married, you want to have a family, you want to have something that's real and solid. I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can do that, and I think don't take offense to it, but listen. Sometimes listening can help you go a lot further than when you just, don't listen. And listen, different strokes for different folks. Listen, if it apply, accept the information. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But I just think that a lot of our women in particular are just out of order. Let's start there. If you're looking for healthy, stable relationships, you got to make sure that you are healthy and stable. You have to make sure that you have the mentality that works for a relationship. You have to also make sure that you are attracting the type of men who want what you want. The men who want relationships, the men who want marriage, the men who want families. You have to make sure that you are attracting the type of man who's interested in the things that you say you want. And oftentimes, a lot of our women, and just women in general, go after men for financial status, for how tall they are, how fine they are, how much money they got, what they look like. They got to have the beard connecting. They got to have everything on your list that you have checked off that you believe you are attracted to it and what you want in a man. And while having that is fine, it's a hindrance at the same time, because you got to understand that when you are dating and when you're looking for marriage and you're looking for a relationship, a solid relationship, a man who has the morals and values that would be the type of man that you want, he may not look the way you dreamt of him. He may not be your dream man as far as looks, as far as height, as far as all of that. And I understand you have a type, but a lot of times your type is the person that's setting you back and holding you back. So first tip is find the man who has the qualities for the things that you want. Find the man who wants a family, want to be married, and wants you. And all of the rest you can work with. Just like you want a man to accept you if you're not the most, gorgeous woman out there, if you don't have all the money, if you don't have all the things that he might have liked in a type, but he's willing to accept you for who you are because you are a good person. You have a good mind. You have a strong head. You have a good head on your shoulders. You have the qualities that he wants in a woman. You are a nurturing woman. You are the type of woman that he wants to raise his kids. Those are the things that matter. Go after the things that matter, because from what we're seeing out here, everybody's looking for she got to have a big booty. She got to have this. She got to have that. He got to have this. He got to have 6 figures. He got to have this. And that is not working. Like who likes you. Go for the man who has the main qualities that is going to get you the lifestyle that you want. Because going after rich men or going after this type of person is not working. It's not getting you what you want. You're finding the men who just want to play with you. You're just somebody they can play with. They're not taking you seriously because they're not in it for the things that you say you want. So tip number 1, go after the men that want you. Focus on the things that matter. Be the nice, loving person that a man wants. Be what he wants. Just like you want him to be what you need him to be, you got to be what he needs you to be as well. It takes two. A relationship is just not everything that the woman wants, but it's what both of you want, what the man want and what you want. You both get something in it with a little bit of compromise. Stop thinking that this masculine energy is going to get you the man of your dreams. Men do not like masculine, aggressive women. Stop thinking masculine and aggressive is what men want, because they don't. They don't. Listen to what men are saying, because what men are saying they want is what they usually go after. Just like you want a man to be, to cater to your needs or to listen to your needs and take them into consideration, you have to do the same for a man. It's a give and take. You have to be able to put something in just like you want him to put something in. So it takes two. Y'all both have to work on things that will be beneficial to each other, not just beneficial to the women. And women are out here with this mindset of elitist, this elitist mindset, this mindset of a man has to do everything for you and you have to do nothing for him. That is old. That is tired. That is no longer the standard. Men are not out here running and chasing behind women for the most part. They want women to meet them halfway. They don't want a woman who's just expecting everything and not giving anything. Y'all got to stop thinking that a man is supposed to cater to you for the rest of his life and that's it, and you don't have to do anything. That is an old, tired mentality. These are not the stepdaddies of back in the day. Just like y'all say y'all are not y'all grandmothers from back in the day. These are modern women, so I would call these modern men. They want something too. And you got to stop trying to shame them and call them sassy. That ain't gonna work. These men are hip to your nature. Y'all have exposed your hand. Y'all have told men what y'all want, how y'all act, what y'all do, and they are aware of it. So you got to come clean. You got to be honest about your intentions, what it is that you want on both sides. That is how you can possibly get into a healthy, stable relationship. Not going for the looks, not going for the money, not going for all the superficial aesthetics that you have been attracted to in the past, because that has yielded you single. So if you are really serious about relationships and actually being married and having a family and having something stable, then these are the things that you have to focus on. You have to focus on what's real, not the fake stuff that everybody want to tell you, girl, you got to have this, you got to get to the bag. All the women telling you to get to the bag are single as hell and struggling at this point because they ain't getting to the bag because they're dependent on men. They're dependent on finessing and using men to get to the bag, and these men are not doing it. There's too much information out here. These men are not falling for the okie doke. So these men are moving in a different way now. They're not moving quite like they used to because they have better information about women and the games that women play. Let's be real. Because women and men play games. So if you are serious, somebody that's serious about a relationship and you really want something that's real, you have to do something that's real. You can't sit back and think, oh, he just got to pay all the bills. He got to do all this. He got to do this, do that. And you don't do nothing and you're the queen sitting at the throne and he's just supposed to cater to you. No, those days are over. Men ain't doing that. Men ain't doing that. No, you got to bring something to the table. And if you don't want to bring nothing to the table, you don't want to cooperate, you don't want to work with the man, then just stay single and be happy about it. I'm just saying. That's my tips for the day.
And this is not to say that you can't date. She's just trying to tell you, as a youngster, or whoever you are coming up, I'm trying to let you know, I'm trying to put you on game. Don't waste your time on these guys that you know play games. There are plenty of good guys out there vying for your attention, wanting to take you out, wanting to treat you right, but you keep on placing these guys in the friend zone. For what reason? Nobody actually knows. Maybe not even you. Stop wasting your time on those men. They don't want you. Go for the guy who is maybe not making six figures at the time, because men tend to progress through their career. Well, I think if you're a competent individual, you're going to progress through your career in general. I mean, there's some questions that you can ask to see where he's at, what he's thinking, where he's wanting to go. And if you fit into that equation, or you see yourself in that equation, let's continue. Let's keep this rolling. But too many women, too many times, they say, hey, do you have the... You know those people that y'all used to be with in study hall? If you ever been to study hall, like a tutoring session or something like that, to where they would only be there for the answers and they would be looking like they were doing work, but they wouldn't really, you actually looked at them, they would just be scribbling, or sometimes they just outright disrespectful and they just texting, just watching TV or Netflix or something like that. That's what some of these modern women are. They're just waiting for you to get the answer. So they, oh, we got the answer now? Not pulling any weight in the group. Just kind of looking and waiting for you to get the answer so they can copy off your page and they can get 100. That's what some of these modern women are doing. And that's why they continue to find bums. Because it looked like he got the right answer, so I'm going to copy off of his page. Well, he's got a lot of money, so it looks like he might be a good man. Turns around, trashes you out, and then all of a sudden you're on TikTok talking about, oh, he's not that great. Well, we could have told you that. Y'all keep on playing. So I sent this by one of the guys that subs to my channel, and he's been through a lot with his now ex-wife, and I'm sure it's not funny. I'm not gonna laugh. I'm sure there's some things that she regrets in her life, as this man was a very high earner by a lot of accounts, and still that wasn't good enough. So he sent me this post, and it talks about the face of young boxers after their first boxing match. And it covers, if you go through these photos, you just different young boys and how they look after their boxing match. And you see in a lot of these photos, relatively clean, relatively pristine looking faces. But then like you see some blood here and some scars and some scrapes. But like the look is, as some comments say, warriors. And I know boxing is, because it's so traumatic, a lot of people say, don't put your kids in it, don't do it. But the fact of the matter is, some people do. But I want you to kind of zoom out from boxing, right? And think about the war that young men have to go through, the before and the after. So I look one way, and sometimes I come out clean. Sometimes I don't come out so clean. Sometimes I come out looking with a little bit of sweat. I come out relatively unscathed. But when you're in that ring, if you've ever watched the boxing match, or you've ever kind of messed around, been in a fight, this is indicative for young men. And one thing that he said one thing they said when he sent me the message was like, women don't understand this. They don't understand how men have to grow up, and they have to grow up fast. When you get in that ring, it's different. And while you're sitting out, I heard one woman say, oh, we can be delusional. We can waltz through life because the man is supposed to be the leader, and you're the leader. You're supposed to have the plan in X, Y, and Z. For one, you're not supposed to be doing that. For two, this is what people expect out of a man, and that's why a lot of not all women, because I've seen women, and I think I've included them in my clips, but there are some women that don't care about men's mental health. Why? Because I don't have time for you to have mental health. All I have time for you to do is be in position for me when I need you. I have time for you to be ready to protect me when I need you, to give me the things that I need, to bow down to me, to submit to me. That's what I have time for. That's what I'm going to make time for. Period. End of story. A man has to be ready for that. All things coming from all sides. He has to be ready for that. And you look at these photos, he got some around his eye, been hit, markings, obviously sweat. That's the least of your worries. Been hit in the face. Got to go ice that down. Got to make sure everything's okay. Not to mention the effects on the brain, right? He don't look like he been through nothing. But I mean, just even a look in his eye, like one seems to be, kind of, I don't know what to expect. And then the other one is like, okay, all right, like this is real. Like this is something that's happening, right? Once again, he's got a little bit of sweat, but then you see a little bit of puffiness and redness on his face. Okay. Once again, he's a little bit further back, but all this hair is nice and ready to go. But then you see the redness over here. These are grown men now. And this is how men have to be in the world. They have to grow up pretty fast, because that's how the world is. And a lot of women don't understand it. They just heap and heap. This is what women continue to do, because they don't want the responsibility. They continue, well, you need to make more money. I was talking about this on my TikTok, where a woman, essentially, it was a pastor, and she was talking about how she's not going to go 50-50 because she has to be the nurturer. And essentially what I was saying was, the Bible doesn't really speak of that, right? Actually, the Bible talks about, yeah, you have to be, the one who bears the child, but that doesn't mean that you sit at home and basically make that your entire identity. I don't want to say that being a stay-at-home mom is nothing, because it absolutely is something. But too many times a lot of ladies try to make that their identity. Well, I do this, and you hear it. Well, I go to this. I make the doctor's appointments. I do the laundry. I cook, yada, yada, and all that other stuff. And if the man were to ever say, well, I'm the main and only breadwinner, they're not going to allow a man to have that. Well, you need to do more around the house. And a man, just like you, because he's human, is like, how am I going to do that? Figure it out. That's one less thing that she has to think about. How am I going to figure out how to work more hours, be more efficient, make more money, and then come home and be a present father to my kids, to be cooking dinner, to be cleaning, to be helping my wife, having time at the end of the night to listen to my wife and listen to her trauma dump, even though I have issues and problems. When am I going to have time for myself? You're not, because after she trauma dumps, she's going to turn over and go to bed, because she doesn't care about what you got going on. Not enough. And then maybe when she's feeling it and she's really, really, I got enough energy. I got so much energy, and then maybe you can have some. But until then, you as a man just have to hold on. And that's what you see in some of these photos. You as a young boy, if you don't know what you're doing in that ring, it doesn't matter. You have to hold on. If you want to survive, if you don't want your lights knocked out, because God forbid you get your lights knocked out, you got to go back to school, or you got to go back in public and people are making fun of you for something that's very traumatic. And you got to deal with the pain of it hurting, physically hurting, mentally hurting, and then the backlash that you're going to receive from being hurt and put down in front of everybody. And a lot of women don't understand that. And this is a really good one that he sent to me. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you sending this stuff to me. I usually don't do this type of stuff. It's usually clips, But just seeing something like this and really thinking about what men have to go through. And then for the women, thank you for what you said about men's mental health. I know there was a lady, and I think in another video that I did, where she was talking about, she sat up there at the age of 6 and watched her brother unalive himself. I think it was. And then at a later age, her father also, or something like that. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but unalive himself as well. No, her boyfriend is what it was. Her boyfriend at the age of 18 unalive himself. And then her father talk about unaliving himself. That's a lot of stuff to go through. That's a lot of stuff to deal with. But a lot of men, a lot of women will never understand that because they simply don't care. And even if they did care, they simply don't see what men go through on a regular basis.